Perfluorinated chemicals, also known as PFCs, PFASs, or highly fluorinated chemicals, are part of our daily lives. They're used in many everyday products, such as stain-resistant carpets and upholstery, non-stick cookware, fast food packaging, and waterproof clothing. They're even used in certain dental flosses. They're also used in many industrial applications and used in certain firefighting foams used to fight fuel fires, for instance, when a plane crashes. Fluorinated chemicals are characterized by carbon-fluorine bonds. These are among the strongest bonds in nature, and they make fluorinated chemicals very resistant to breaking down, even at high temperatures. They also tend to repel oil and water, which makes them very useful in a wide range of products. We can be exposed to fluorinated chemicals in a number of ways. For instance, fluorinated chemicals that are in stain-resistant carpets and upholstery can end up in the air in our homes and in dust, so we can breathe them in or ingest them, and they can also end up on our skin. Chemicals that are in food packaging, such as fast food packaging and microwave popcorn bags, can leach into the food that they contain. We can also be indirectly exposed to fluorinated chemicals due to environmental contamination. For instance, certain fluorinated chemicals are taken up by plants or can be accumulated by animals in areas where soil and water are contaminated. In addition, there are numerous communities throughout the U.S. where drinking water supplies have been contaminated with fluorinated chemicals. Sources of this contamination include facilities where fluorinated chemicals are produced or used in products, areas where firefighting foams are used to put out fuel fires or used to help firefighters train for these kinds of fires, and areas where groundwater is impacted by landfill leachate, and drinking water sources that are impacted by wastewater discharges. In my own work on Cape Cod here at Silent Spring Institute, we found fluorinated chemicals in a number of the public and private wells that we tested. In some cases, higher levels of fluorinated chemicals could be associated with firefighting foams. Lower levels may have come from wastewater, for instance, from septic systems that discharge into the groundwater on the Cape. The US EPA recently lowered its guidelines for two of the most long-lived fluorinated chemicals, PFOS and PFOA, in drinking water. Because fluorinated chemicals are so common in our daily environment, it's not surprising that nearly all Americans have traces of fluorinated chemicals in their bodies. This is according to national testing by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Some fluorinated chemicals, including PFOS and PFOA, have long half-lives, meaning that these chemicals can stay in our bodies for years. The fact that we're regularly exposed to fluorinated chemicals raises public health concerns because fluorinated chemicals have been associated with a wide range of health effects. For instance, in studies of people who have been exposed to PFOA, this chemical has been associated with testicular and kidney cancer, ulcerative colitis, pregnancy-induced hypertension or preeclampsia, thyroid disease, and elevated cholesterol. In children, PFOS and PFOA have been linked to effects on the immune system. Because of concerns about health effects and the long half-lives of some fluorinated chemicals in the human body, major U.S. manufacturers have phased out the production of PFOS, PFOA, and related fluorinated chemicals. In their place, they're producing other fluorinated chemicals. These have shorter half-lives in the human body. However, we don't know very much yet about their potential health effects, and they have some chemical similarities to the longer-chain fluorinated chemicals that they are designed to replace. As a result, some scientists are calling for the phase-out or reductions in the use of fluorinated chemicals as a whole class of chemicals rather than making decisions on a chemical-by-chemical basis. For people who want to reduce their exposures to fluorinated chemicals, it can be a challenge because information about fluorinated chemicals is not often included on product labels. To reduce your exposures, here are some tips. Avoid stain-resistant carpets and upholstery. Avoid PTFE or fluoro as a suffix to names on product labels. Select cast iron, aluminum, or enamel cookware. Eat more fresh foods to avoid fast food packaging. Avoid microwave popcorn. Minimize your contact with fluorinated ski waxes. and filter your drinking water if possibly contaminated by fluorinated chemicals. In some cases, it can be difficult to find substitutes for products that contain fluorinated chemicals, but in general, you can ask yourself whether this is a product that you really need to be fluorinated, or if you can choose another option that doesn't contain these types of chemicals.